Hi traders, thanks for stopping by thetradinganalyst.com. This is Taylor and we're going to take a look at some charts here and I'm going to give my analysis and my thought process, and you're going to walk away from this video with some newfound knowledge on technical analysis as well as hopefully some profitable trade ideas based off of this analysis. But first, if you're not already a member at thetradinganalyst.com, go ahead and give us a visit on the homepage of the website and get to know us a little bit better. If you like the free videos and analysis that we give to you on a daily basis, it's nothing in comparison to the membership you get once you sign up with that premium membership. Once you sign up with that premium membership, you're going to gain instant access to the profitable trade alerts that our current members are getting on a daily and weekly basis. It's a great opportunity and we'd love to help you with your trading. Alright, so let's take a look at some charts here. We're going to start off with Apple, and I want to point out a couple things on Apple. Going back to this candle right here, this was a gap up on earnings to new all-time highs. Very bullish. You can see we just consolidated a little bit for one day and then pretty much have been trading sideways and then a nice little uptrend action here. Today we broke over a key level of resistance and we did so with a little bit of a volume pop, so well over the average volume right here today as we break out to new all-time highs. Very bullish. You can see we hit it there, a couple days there. Yesterday we hit it, and then today, nice action, bullish engulfing candle, new all-time highs, volume. Definitely looks bullish. Now we have support down here at about 161.80. So if you're a short-term trader, and look for bounces against that level. Very nice action for Apple. The next one we're going to take a look at is Facebook. And Facebook, want to point out, we gapped below this support level right here. So normally when that happens, when you have a really tight range right here, you get this gap below and it ends up breaking down right there. Okay, and that's actually what we were looking for today. And we actually took a loss on next week's put options right here. It's a small loss, but a loss indeed. We were looking for that breakdown, didn't get it. So we had that big reversal right here and closed over the previous day's high, right? Yep, we closed over the previous day's high. To me, this is somewhat of not a true false breakdown, but definitely a failed attempt at breaking down, and to me this is somewhat bullish, especially considering Facebook is in a major uptrend here. You can see that, and this is looking more like a bull flag, which I have mentioned in my previous videos. But what I want to see is confirmation of this day. Okay, I want to see confirmation, and I want to see follow through tomorrow. All right, follow through, and I want to sustain over today's highs. And if we break, 169, let's call it 169.90. Let's just call it 170, just for a nice even number. So if we hit 170 tomorrow, to me that's going to be nice confirmation that we can see a nice breakout higher on Facebook. If we don't get that confirmation, and we break today's lows, so today's lows would be that signal that we are going to head lower on Facebook, because today was a big bounce and you want to see it continue after a day like today. The next one we're going to take a look at is Amazon. And Amazon, very similar action to Facebook. You can clearly see we've got this support here, bounce there, here, right there, here, here, and you can see we flirted with breaking below it right here, and today we broke back above it. All right, broke back above it, and again, we want to see confirmation. So a break over about 960 is what I'd be looking for tomorrow for confirmation. If we get that, then we can have higher in the short term. Now, overall, if you watched the previous videos on Amazon, you know that overall I do think that Amazon is going to head lower. So if we do get a pop up anywhere from 990 to 1012, I think is going to be a good potential short because of the previous analysis I've done on it. Just to cover it briefly, you know, we've got heavy volume here, selling volume there, selling volume there, and then you can see selling volume right here. On this red day, you can see a lot of volume, so we're seeing a lot of volume come out of the stock. You can see this trend line was broken as well. It started in the beginning of 2016. Several hits there, several hits there. So short term, I do think that we can get a nice pop out of it if we get a break over 960. But just remember, overall, I do think it's going to head lower. So if it does head lower, to me, that's a nice short entry. Next one we're going to take a look at is Google. And Google was a really nice one because it opened right at this support level. And when you are looking for a breakdown, you want to look for gaps below the support. That usually leads to nice moves. But we gapped right at support. You can see we bounced here, there, here, here, and here. So big level here. This one had a bullish engulfing candle here. Again, I think we can head higher. The price I'd be looking to break is about 943 approximately. Just really wanted to sustain over today's highs. If we can sustain over today's highs, I think we can get a nice pop on this stock. The next one we're going to take a look at is Google. Oops, I'm sorry. Netflix is the next one we're going to take a look at. And again, this is similar look to Facebook. And what I mean by that is you can see it gapped below this support. So we had the support. Look at how many times it's bounced off the support. Gap, gap, gap. I'm sorry, bounce, bounce, bounce. And then today we gapped below that support and ended up bouncing big and ended up, let's see, do we close over yesterday's high? 168.67. Yep, and we ended up closing over the previous day's high with a bullish engulfing candle. So again, if we sustain higher over today's highs tomorrow, again, that's what we need to confirm that this is a real bounce. If it doesn't confirm, this goes for all the stocks that I've covered in this video today. Again, if we break over that high, then I think we can get a nice bounce. On Netflix, we've got a gap up here to fill. All right, got a gap up there to fill. We've also got a little gap right here that may want to fill as well. That gap right there is about 175.70, and it's from that close of this candle right here, and then there's the close of that candle for that gap for Netflix. Next one we're going to take a look at is Tesla, and to me, Tesla didn't quite get as good of a bounce as the other ones that we covered so far. We didn't end up closing over the previous day's high, as you can see right there. So previous day's high, 347.35. Oh, we did by 1 cent. By 1 cent we did. Okay, so correction. We did end up having a bullish engulfing day, but to me this is somewhat of a sloppier pattern. Again, we can get a bounce, but to me, of all of the ones that I covered here, don't think it's as good of a play as far as the short-term levels. So what you want to focus on is these main levels here. We're in a little mini triangle. Started up here from these highs. You can see we're making lower highs, really respecting that angle. So we've got resistance up here right around 355 to 360 is going to be that resistance. And then we've got this lower end of the channel, triangle. You can see it bounce here, there, right there, here, almost hit it right here. So got a nice squeeze here. You can look for either a break to the upside or a break to the downside. Whichever end ends up breaking, that's the way that you can play it. But right now I just see a lot of chop while we're in this range. But that chop is good because it's trading back and forth in a really tight range, and that's going to make for a nice move whichever way it heads. So you want that contraction, and that contraction is building up energy for the next move. Next one we're going to cover is price line. Price line, another gap below support, and then a close over. Let's see, do we close over the previous day's high? High of yesterday, 1805. Yep, we closed over by $2. So another bullish engulfing candle on some pretty okay volume right there. You can clearly see it's about the average lately, but you know, compared to previous volume, it's definitely a little bit more than that. So if we sustain over the highs of today, tomorrow, then we can see a nice bounce to the upside. The first resistance I'm seeing is right around here, about 1853, based off of the support that we saw from these candles, and then the high of that candle right there. So that's going to be the near-term target if we sustain over the highs here. And also, this is another one that I do think is going to head lower overall, and based off of this trend line break, you see right there, there's a bounce, and then here we gapped under it on earnings on huge volume. You can see huge selling volume this day. The following day saw a little bit of volume selling on this day right here. So we broke that trend line with some pretty heavy volume and headed lower since. You know, if you get a drop down on earnings on a very bullish stock, you know, kind of like we did over here, you can see it didn't really drop, and then we bounced. That marked the near-term low, and we ended up bouncing huge off of that. So what you want to look for is a sustained move lower to see, okay, I know it's sold off, but is it going to continue? And I do think that this kind of validated that theory that overall I think that price line is going to head lower, but it doesn't mean we can't get a short-term pop into at least 1854. That's just my near-term target. The best risk versus reward short, in my opinion, is up here near 1908, which is right where we gap down to off of earnings. So if we do head higher, that's a great shorting opportunity, low risk. If we break higher than that, you know, if we break the high of this day, the high of that day, 1919, to me that's a good stop out point if we break that high. And I only want to be short if we're below this high. If we break over that high, not only we're going to be back over into the gap, which likely means we're going to fill this gap up here, but also we'd be over the 50-day moving average, which is that red line right there. Thank you for stopping by and watching this video, everyone. Hopefully you learned something, and we'll take some profitable trades based off of this free analysis. Again, if you're not already a member at thetradinganalyst.com, visit us on the homepage, get to know us better, and then sign up with that premium membership. Once you sign up with the premium membership, you're going to gain instant access to the profitable trade alerts that our current members are getting and loving on a daily and weekly basis. It's a great opportunity, and we'd love to help you with your trading.